Guys, welcome back to the one.
What's that dirty thing on your face?
I couldn't even get through a line? Come
You
on.
look like a kid who had a little too much fun in the Sharpie section of a grocery store. You look like what an Amish person thinks a hipster is.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you going to use your light meter? Is that what you're going to do next? Are you going to flaunt your light meter around set? You're going to talk about foot candles with your big boy mustache?
Welcome back. I know it's been a really long time. I apologize for that. There's a few reasons, and that's kind of what this update video is about. We're going to get into some of those. A big reason was I shot my third feature-length film, and I got a lot of new information, a lot of behind the scenes, and hopefully I can share some of that with you guys soon. Outside of that, work's just picked up, and to produce these videos on the level that I'd like to try to aim for, it takes a lot of time. It's actually kind of difficult. Don't worry, I still have week 2 of Cinematography 101 and 134 planned, and that week is going to be lighting. At the end of this video, I'm going to update you guys on our lighting week, which is going to drop later this month or potentially early December. And then I'm going to give you guys updates on the future of this channel. But speaking of lighting, I want to take this opportunity to talk about Elation Lighting. Elation Lighting was not only kind enough to support the upcoming lighting week, but they also sent me 3 fixtures that we got to use on my last feature film. Now, if they sound familiar, it's because you've probably heard of them. They're a huge name in stage lighting, but they took me to their showroom and it goes way beyond that. From concerts and stadiums to architecture and homes, and they just have their hands in everything lighting, including cinema. That's why they reached out to me to see if I could kind of test drive their lights on our feature film and give them some feedback. Now, these are not cheap lights. They're competing with RE Sky Panels, the Geminis, the Aperture Novas, Cream Source, big brands. They're aiming for the highest quality cinema standard of lighting. And between you and me, they succeed. So they sent me a par, a Fresnel, and a panel. You'll find those links in the description below. Now, if we run through the features real quick, you can kind of see here. And I apologize, I took this with my iPhone, so it's trying to auto adjust. So it's kind of hard to see, but basically what you're watching here is the range of features that it has. So color temperature is a big one. All 3 differ slightly, but they mostly go from around 2000 Kelvin to 10,000 Kelvin, which is a huge range and really helpful. You'll also see it has plus and minus green, and that's great for dialing in skin tones, but also for maybe trying to match other practicals that are already on set, like fluorescent lights, which we actually did in my feature. The 2 greatest things for me is that all 3 fixtures are RGB controllable. They have built-in gels and presets already there. And then last but not least, they are really powerful. So the feature I used them on didn't really call for any, John Wick type of lighting, but we did use the color quite often. Previously mentioned, we were trying to match fluorescent lamps and kind of get that Fincher look. But we also use sodium vapor for street lamps coming through the window, and we use the Kelvin range a lot, especially during our moonlight scenes. And on the topic of power, like I said, these things output a lot of light. When I first tested the par light at an ISO of 800, 24 frames per second, I was getting a 5.6 reading on my light meter from about 12 feet away, which is pretty bright. Fresnel even packs a bigger punch than that, and the panel for a square soft light can definitely hold its own. Because of the power, the versatility of these lights is amazing. We'll show you some behind the scenes from my feature here, and you can see in just the variety of ways we used them. We punched them through diffusion, we hit them off giant bounces, and often we would use them directly to mimic moonlight scraping across the forest or a harsh beam of sun cutting through a window. In fact, on another short film, I used the Fresnel to mimic sunlight scraping across an entire church filled with people. So I wouldn't necessarily say there's downsides to these lights, but there are things that you should know about. The main one is the par and the Fresnel, my gaffer Mitch actually dubbed as the rock and roll lights, which I thought was kind of cool. The reason we started calling them that is because they do carry a lot of those stage lighting and concert lighting features with them, just in the design and the way that they're built. So they might be a little unique to a cinema set at first until you realize that actually comes in handy because you can hang them from truss and they have all the adapters to come with them to put them into combo stands and kind of rig them however you want. The panel, however, is a very modern cinema light. If you've used a high-end light like an RE Sky panel before, you'll be very used to something like the Elation panel. And I didn't mention it before, but the quality of light is also very high-end. Skin tones look great and you can really dial in what you're looking for. The only other thing to note is that these are built like tanks. But like sky panels and other high-end fixtures, that means you're not going to just throw them on an Amazon light stand. So if you do decide to rent one of these or even purchase one, just note you'll need the right gear to put them up in the air. For reference on my feature, we pretty much exclusively flew them on combo stands. So highly recommend Elation Lighting, and I also just want to thank them again for lending the fixtures for our feature, but also for supporting the channel and the upcoming Lighting Week. Which brings us to our next topic, the Lighting Week. You can look out for that towards the end of this month or the beginning of next month. Unfortunately, I think I bit off a little more than I can chew with the hopes that I had for this channel, specifically the Lighting Week. I wanted to stage a bunch of different lighting scenarios for you guys, but I think we're going to keep it a little more low-key while still offering you the information that you need to get started in your cinematography career. So Cinematography 101 for Lighting Week will still cover all of the basics and give you what you need to know to go out there and start shooting. Because lighting is so subjective, in Cinematography 134, we're just going to talk about basic lighting scenarios for different setups like corporate interviews, narrative, music videos, and so on. And then I'll offer examples and behind the scenes of some of the things I shot and why I lit them that way. And now an update on the channel itself. After the Lighting Week, I'm not exactly sure where this channel is going to go. I had about 5 additional weeks planned, but as you can see, with how long it's taken me to even put this video out, I'm just a little too busy to commit to that type of scale. But I don't want to end the channel. I still want to offer you guys behind the scenes tips and tricks of filmmaking. So I think we're just going to simplify it a little bit. Instead of making it cinematography specific and instead of having entire weeks of content planned, we're just going to put videos out that are more like my footnotes videos. Bite-sized, snackable pieces of content that cover a more specific area of filmmaking. It'll still probably focus on cinematography because that is my specialty, but I'd love for this channel to open up and talk about all areas of filmmaking. So for now, stay tuned for the Lighting Week, and we'll see where we go from there. Thank you guys, and
Just be thankful that you still have to wear a mask on set, so no one can see that thing.
You mentioned that.
Just grow your beard back out.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.